This is a wonderfully elegant article. And the eloquence is based upon the simplicity of being able to reduce stress and anxiety. In reference to this research was frontline workers, particularly nurses, in a very, very, how I describe it, simple way. Now, the researcher obviously talks about this and how it could extend out even beyond nurses or anybody that's in a stressful situation. In this case, she alluded to individuals in social isolation, patients, so on and so forth, but the loneliness is there. And the correlation that she made towards the end of the research article was very simple. It's like smelling fresh baked bread or donuts or cake or anything that could raise that mood up. In this case, the oils utilized, looking orange, grapefruit, lime, just simple things that could take a person's day and just turn it around without drugs or medications or any sort of a hard-hitting therapeutic approach. Just the aroma of simplicity, positivity, however you want to call it. So let's get right into the research as follows. Aromatherapy may reduce nurses' stress. Small study, needs to be carried out a little larger, obviously. In an 8-week study, the researchers provided aromatherapy patches to 19 nurses who worked at the infusion center at the WVU Cancer Institute. The nurses affixed the patches to the badges they wore on lanyards around their neck. The patches were infused. Remember, we're not even talking dosages because we're talking scent. We're infused with the citrusy blend of essential oils: lemon, orange, mandarin, pink grapefruit, lemongrass, lime, and peppermint. The researchers found, this is the outcome of the small study, the researchers found that the participants felt significantly less stressed, anxious, fatigued, and overwhelmed after wearing the aromatherapy patches. The levels of anxiety and fatigue they reported fell by 40%, and the stress levels and feelings of being overwhelmed decreased by half. That is what I mean by eloquence, because it's simple, put it around your neck, and basically, boom. Not only that, the people that they come in contact with. Now, this is where she alluded to, can help with any individual, especially in a stressful individual or a stressful position, such as social isolation, if I could speak appropriately, social isolation, while possibly recovering from a virus or so on and so forth. In this case, she made references to COVID-19 patients who can't see family members and such. Now think about it. How about the smell of lime, orange, grapefruit, or peppermint, as opposed to cleaning solution? Think about the psychology involved with that. Just basically simple scents that could trigger powerful positive memories that can help an individual turn their day around. That's what she's alluding to. Now this is the case right here. You can read through. It's kind of heartbreaking. We covered it before last week. Aromatherapy might improve patients' moods, too, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic when hospital patients can't receive visitors. I'll pause that for a second, and you can go through there. Now, other updates. And the reason the updates, this is not necessarily a position of confirmation bias. These are actually research articles that came out within the past week, and boom, boom, boom. And the reason it's important is because policymakers asked people to make an incredible sacrificing potentially their future, the financial income security, so on and so forth, as well as mild trauma basically inflicted on children who can't go outside and play. Actually, take that back. They weren't asked. It was demanded by policymakers. Let's be honest. So, even if they made a mistake, part of what science and research is adapting. So if new information comes out that something may be better or not be as effective, you really have to weigh the balance altogether. Well, that's beside the point. If you want to watch that, you can ton of YouTube places that can talk about that. Let's just go right into the research as follows. Cloth mask may prevent transmission of COVID-19, an evidence-based, risk-based approach. And the reason this pulled on my heartstrings is because I don't like maybes. You are definitely telling a person to suffer financial harm, loneliness, so on and so forth. I don't like doing it on a maybe outcome. And in order to be fair, the link is going to be to the full research article in the Annals of Internal Medicine, or I should say the opinion article. But again, sacrifice and risk is going to have different values to different individuals and expectations, so on and so forth. So let us proceed as follows. No direct evidence indicates that public mask wearing protects either the wearer or others. Direct. Correlation can be strong, but we're talking direct evidence. Causation, correlation, very important terms to know the difference of. As well as publisher bias. By me taking part of this article out, I am, in effect, introducing publisher bias. But there's a reason for that. As I said, I expect more than just maybes. I want to see direct evidence or some sort of definite opinion. Not a definite opinion. Definite results or outcome. Given the severity of this pandemic and the difficulty of control, we suggest that the possible benefit of modest reduction in transmission likely outweighs the possibility of harm. I hear possible, likely, and possibility 3 times in one sentence. Doesn't build my confidence. I hope you understand. 2, beware of false negatives in diagnostic testing of COVID-19. We're looking at the reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction test, rt-pcr. Wait till you hear this. This is in regard to false negatives. In the report on the findings published on May 13th in the Journal of Internal Medicine, once again, the researchers found that the probability of a false negative result decreases from 100% on day 1 of being infected to 67% by day 4. The false negative rate, in best case scenario, now keep in mind, you don't know when the individual is affected. Is this day 1, day 2, day 3? No one's tracked that well. So you got to look at this false negative test as basically being like flipping a coin practice. No, actually at 100% false negative on day 1. No. It says on day 1, if being infected 67% on day 4. The false negative rate decreases to 20% on day 8. Should you be so fortunate to be in that category by day 8 and be lucky enough to have the odds in your favor one way or the other. 3 days after a person begins to experience symptoms. They also found that, they're already experiencing symptoms, and it's still the test. All right. They also found that on day 8, that on the day a person started experiencing actual symptoms of illness, the average false negative rate was 38%. In addition, the false negative rate began to increase again from 21% on day 9 to 66% on day 21. Should it last that long? So when looking at the test, at least in regards to the rt-pcr test, err on the side of caution. If medical professional or whatever it is, and all the symptoms seem to be there, but the rt-pcr test is not showing up, again, it's not about adding my opinion to it. Just be aware. And then number 3, or I should say these articles came out in reference to social isolation before. And the reason I'm bringing them up, they all came out this week. So it's not like I'm picking and choosing from going weeks back. These all literally just came out within a few days. Pandemic likely to cause long-term health problems, Yale School of Public Health. Social isolation increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, and death from all causes. Keep that in mind. Links are going to be there on the channel as well, so you can follow to on your own. And social isolation, of all things, this is a lot of confounding, but you got to read the Italian study here. Because, again, it's not about making a mistake. They are willing to look at what was wrong and therefore make adjustments in the future should this ever occur again. Social isolation linked to more severe COVID-19 outbreaks. Exactly as stated. The links will be, sorry about that. The links will be there for you to follow. Again, the first thing and the main thing I want to bring attention to is the positive stuff, especially in reference to the aromatherapy, reducing stress and anxiety, which is just incredible. 40% to 50%, 40% reduction in anxiety, 50% reduction in stress, simply wearing a great smelling patch around the neck. How eloquent is that? Again, hope you find this information of use. The formula will be on the YouTube channel, as well as the link to the DOI citation. And thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Hope this does not become censored. It's not saying words that can actually be picked up inadvertently. But again, information, information, information. What policymakers were demanding of the public? Better have solid evidence. And even if they make a mistake, if they continue to keep on chasing that bet, even though the evidence that's coming out does not support it, well, that's for another channel. Again, Ralph signing off. Thank you, gratitude, and see you all next time.